So my body broke some rules early. If I were the type to believe what I hear, to take in what I see, and doubt what I know, I might think that, like aging itself, menopause signals the beginning of the end. A slow fade to beige, a cautionary tale, a punchline wrapped in sweat and shame. Instagram says, brace yourself. Popular media tells me you will fall apart. And somehow, menopause has even been lumped in with fascism by the very woman who reminds us that we can do hard things. So here's another contradiction. We're taught that menstruation is something to endure, a curse, and then we're told that its ending is even worse. Come on. I've spent over 20 years working with women entering menopause. They rarely come in saying, I feel powerful and liberated, just checking in. No, they often come in carrying other people's fears, saying, my body is broken. I heard this is when everything declines, when I stop mattering. And I always wonder who told us that and why do we believe them? Because when I was in my 20s in naturopathic medical school in Portland, my heroes were peri and postmenopausal women. They were powerful and radiant. They didn't shrink, they didn't whisper, they were clear. It was not that they had no fucks to give. It was that they knew exactly which ones were worth their energy, and they gave those generously. Those women were living what I would later call the pink zones, where women actually thrive as they age. So I grew up in my 30s and 40s with a different image. Yes, hot flashes and night sweats, sleep that ghosts you, and then texts at 3 a.m. saying, like, you up? But I never absorbed this idea that my worth would decline. And maybe that's because my body broke the rules early. So I tried to have a child, and my body said no, again and again. Multiple miscarriages teach you something no one puts on a greeting card. If your worth is tied to reproduction, you will lose yourself the moment your body refuses to perform the miracle. I was grieving, but steady. My husband wasn't. When his startup failed at the same time, he called it too many failures and ended our marriage. So there I was, divorced, grieving on the doorstep of perimenopause, thinking, well, that is not what I ordered. But here's what arrived instead. My body not doing what was expected did not make me disposable. I had to dig deep, and I learned that worth cannot be outsourced to biology, to men, or to venture capital. So when menopause arrived, it didn't feel like a collapse. It felt familiar. Another moment where my body said, you are released. Those rules never fit you anyway. Because menopause, like infertility for me, was not a loss of value. It is a loss of illusion. The illusion that women exist to produce, to stay pleasing, to replicate systems and beauty myths that were never built with us in mind. And that's why this moment, it's not just biological, it's political. That's why it matters when Halle Berry calls out a governor for vetoing menopause legislation, not just once, but twice. Because while reproduction does end, clarity begins. This is not the stage of life where we disappear. This is where we stop reproducing the bullshit and start creating something new. And no, it won't be a baby. It might be boundaries, it might be policy, it might be pink zones designed deliberately so we can become the women our younger selves needed to see. Lives shaped by rules that were finally written with us in mind.